Hey, this is Rick from For Community, creating community spaces so you can connect with others and also with God. I took about 3 months off of the gym, and I just went back to the gym again this week after 3 months of just doing cardio. I got to the point in the gym where I was getting stronger, but then I didn't feel like I had enough stamina to continue the growth. So I'm like, okay, pause that. Let's do cardio. So first day back to the gym, and I needed at least 4 or 5 days off for the pain in my legs to go away. I'm that old now that if I take too long off the gym, I need almost a whole week to recover as I'm getting back to it. There is a consequence, which is kind of what I want to focus on, the consequence for everything that we do. Consequence for taking a break. There's consequence for starting up something new. I spend money. The consequence is that I have an emptier bank account. If my kids and wife get into the van so that we can go somewhere, the consequence is that I'm probably spending close to $100 just on snacks. The experience of spending about $100 on snacks every time we leave the house with my family has the consequence of me tending to do a lot of things at home with my family. Everything has a consequence. Really hammering this home because it's related to the topic for this video. Today, I want to focus on communication. Every word we use has a consequence or a reward, both is true. Words aren't something that we can use without effect. They always have an effect. Since this is the last video on Proverbs before we start focusing on Resurrection Sunday, I searched through Proverbs chapter 13 to 22, all of that, to see what the biggest bang for the buck could be for us for this video. And to me, the biggest thing that was jumping out in Proverbs 13 to 22 was all around communication. So this video is based on my interpretation of about 10 different Proverbs through Proverbs chapter 13 to 22 that all focus around communication. For context of my thoughts, I'm going to start at chapter 18, verse 21. The tongue can bring death or life. Those who love to talk will reap the consequences. Chapter 13, verse 3. Those who control their tongue will have a long life. Opening your mouth can ruin everything. 14, verse 3. A fool's proud talk becomes a rod that beats him, but the words of the wise keep them safe. 15, verse 2. The tongue of the wise makes knowledge appealing, but the mouth of a fool belches out foolishness. 15, verse 4. Gentle words are a tree of life. A deceitful tongue crushes the spirit. 17, verse 27 and 28. A truly wise person uses few words. A person with understanding is even-tempered. Even fools are thought wise when they keep silent. With their mouths shut, they seem intelligent. 18, verse 2. Fools have no interest in understanding. They only want to air their own opinions. And finally, 18, verse 13. Spouting off before listening to the facts is both shameful and foolish. Here's the direction I want to take in this video. I want to talk about some communication tips that I gleaned from these 10 Proverbs to do and to avoid all around communication. The proverb that really caught my attention is that first one that I read to you from 1821. The tongue can bring death or life. Those who love to talk will reap the consequences. Words can create the world around us that we experience. They can give us a good or a painful life. We can use our words to surround ourselves with wise people who offer us good experiences, or we can use our words to surround ourselves with angry people who want to hurt us. Our words can affect how we experience life. They can create and recreate the world we live in, at least our interactions with it. Now, here's the thing. I personally love to talk. So communication lessons get my attention. And I think that's probably why this theme popped out at me while I was reading these chapters. And here's the other thing. You need to talk too. We all need to talk. And when we talk, there are consequences or there are rewards. Both are true. So here are 2 communication tips around things to do or things to avoid when talking. Tip number 1, things to do. Use few and gentle words that offer peace. Now, here's where I'm getting this from. Those who control their tongues will have a long life. The words of the wise keep them safe. The tongue of the wise makes knowledge appealing. Gentle words are a tree of life. A truly wise person uses few words. Even fools are thought wise when they keep silent. With their mouths shut, they seem intelligent. I think it's so important for us to notice the emphasis here on using fewer words. I think there's an emphasis here on making words count and a note of wisdom about the perception of intelligence simply by remaining silent and being emotionally regulated. There's also a clear direction around being gentle. The Gottman Institute, where some of my training for couples therapy comes from, they have found that the way a conversation begins is generally how a conversation is going to end. So a lot of work has gone into developing a strategy for something they call gentle startups. Harsh startups tend to lead to consequences, like no one wanting to continue a conversation with you, or everyone wanting to argue with you, or maybe punch you in the nose. Additionally, these proverbs tell us that people who communicate well are those who consider the outcome of their communication. They're interested in saying things that lead to peace, lead to safety, and making peace and safety look appealing. So here's my summary about things to do while you are talking with others. Use few and gentle words that offer peace. Pretty simple. Okay, here's the second tip. Things to avoid while communicating. The use of gushing and strongly opinionated words that defy consequences. Here's where we're getting this opinion from. Opening your mouth can ruin everything. A fool's proud talk becomes a rod that beats him. Love that one. But the mouth of a fool belches out foolishness. That's an awesome way of describing that. A deceitful tongue crushes the spirit. Fools have no interest in understanding. They only want to air their own opinions. Spouting off before listening to the facts is both shameful and foolish. Love how the Proverbs refers to poor communication as belching, as burping. It's rude to do that in someone's face. There's generally a consequence to burping in someone's face, even among friends. When I was a teen, I thought it was hilarious to burp, but just in my mouth, to keep my mouth closed while I burped and hold it in, and then look at my friend and blow it, blow it in their face. And even though we were friends, there would still be a beating that followed. Rightly so, my friends would attempt to punch me and hurt me after they experienced that coming from me. It's violence provoking, even among friends, to burp in someone's face. I'd never want to do that to a stranger because I would expect a negative outcome from that event. Belching in someone's face has a consequence. And I think these proverbs are really, really stressing the importance of us to understand the consequences that are true, that really do exist for us being careless in the way that we use our words. We can't say stuff and expect that people won't react. People do react to our words. And regardless of how much we want to deny that we're accountable, we will totally experience some response. People will hold us accountable to what we have said to them. So the things to avoid is the blurting of opinions. I mean, opinions is a hard level of communication all on its own for people to navigate, even under good situations. Generally, people respond to opinions by stating their own opinion, and it doesn't really generate a conversation that helps two people connect. Marry opinions with a harsh startup, not treating somebody gently when you first start to talk to them, and this arrogant feeling that you can say anything you want without consequence. And you may find yourself with a black eye or being fired or handcuffed. You may find yourself surrounded by people you can't trust because they all want to hurt you for the way that you spoke to them. So here's my summary of this set of the second part of the Proverbs there. Don't use gushing and strongly opinionated words that arrogantly denies that there will be a consequence, because your words have a consequence. With our words, we create the world that we experience. With our words, we can surround ourselves with people who are wise. We can reap the benefit of speaking gently toward the outcome of peace, friendliness, politeness. That's the world that I want to live in. That's the experience that I want to have. I want to surround myself with people who are responding kindly to me because I have used my words kindly to them. Or, we could be foolish about this, and we could use our words in a way that has this negative outcome where people are generally angry with us, want to yell at us, Our experience of the world will become a dark place, a bad place, because that's the experience we set up for ourselves with this poor understanding of how we use our words. Here's my closing thought. As we're using our words to be wise about creating our experience of the world, please remember that you can also use your words to connect with God. Jesus is just a sentence away. If you've used your words in a way that's resulted in a bad experience, then you can use your words with Jesus to ask him to bail you out. You can use your words with Jesus to reconnect and get back on track with him. Praying is just talking to God. That's all praying is, just talking to God. Please use your words to talk to God too. All right. Now, I hope that you came up with some different interpretations. Remember, I gleaned from Proverbs chapter 13 to 22. So when we meet this Sunday to reflect at 1:30 or 6 o'clock, you can pull any proverb you want from all those chapters, and we'll just go with whatever is on your mind. Or you can use the 10 that I pulled up, and we can talk about those. Looking forward to your interpretation now that you've spent all this time to hear mine. I certainly want to hear from you. So that's it from me to you for now. Would you please like? Would you please share? Would you please subscribe? Would you please also ask for the link? On Sunday, we meet at 1:30 and at 6 o'clock for community, creating community spaces so you can connect with others and also with God. I'll see you next time.